Morning, good morning. It is Natasha. I am here with you on day 3 of 20 of the 21-day water fast holiday edition. Um, and if you've made it to day 3, I just want to say thank you. Really, give yourselves a big round of applause. Yay, you made it to day 3. You've taken yourself on and taken on a whole new connection to yourself that you're probably not even aware of at this time. So, how was day 2? What's been happening? What's going on out there? So, I'd love for you ladies, if you're not joining the live broadcast, to actually jump on Facebook and post your messages there in the Facebook group, because it's really important to stay connected with the community and start talking, right? And sharing with each other, because the more we start talking, the more we start sharing with each other, the more we stay connected, the more we actually get to um, really just basically feed off of each other's energy, which is something that we definitely need and makes the world a difference, not just for you, but it actually makes the world a difference for me as well. All right. So thank you for doing that. And you may start noticing some physical things. So today we're gonna really just touch on what are some of the physical things you may start to notice. What are some of the bodily functions that you need to start being prepared for and being aware of. And if you're not doing it already, I'm going to remind you, keep journaling, right? Find a time in your day, 5 minutes, to sit down and reflect and focus on you and tap into that universal spirit, that universal energy, so that you can keep going. This process, your mind, body, and soul are all working together for you. So you want to give it what it needs. And right now, what it needs is connection and connectivity. And that's what this community is all about. All right. So here we go. Day 3, raising acoustic energy. The intention. Today, I'm enhancing the acoustic energy in my life. I listen for the wonderful sounds all around me, the birds, the breeze, and the rustling trees. I surround myself with pleasant music, and I talk in clear and confident tones. I'm always willing to speak my truth. So, starting with that last line, speaking your truth. What is your truth? What is the truth for you? Right? Which is different than the truth for me. And last night, I went to a vegan post Thanksgiving potluck. And the person who invited me, I did share with them that I was going to be on the water fast. Well, it was a really great surprise to know that the person I shared it with was being mentored by someone who had done a colonic for me when I was on the first water fast. And when I got there, I shared with him. He asked me how the water fast go. I told him it went great. Shared with him what I got, and I told him that I'm doing it again. And he looked at me with such surprise and shock and said, "Really, again?" I said, "Yeah, I'm doing it again, um, because this holiday season, I want to connect with the spirit of the season, and share time with family and friends, and really get to know them without having food be the catalyst." And I had his card before, but he just made sure he gave me his card again. And he said, "Okay, I'm going to give you 3 days to put together a date to come here and teach a workshop on water fasting." And I was like, "What? I'm not an expert in that." He said, "No, you've done it before and you're doing it again." So you are an expert, because I've never done it. I've done 3 days, but I haven't. He said, in all my years, my 40 years of practicing natural and holistic living, I've never done a 21-day water fast. And you're like one of the first people I've met. So I'm sharing that with you to let you know that there are people out there who are practitioners of holistic living, of clean living, healthy living, who have not done this kind of work. So when you are at the end of this, you, my friend, will be an expert. Yeah. And really start looking at what are you getting? What are you tapping into? And start sharing your message, sharing your truth. What is it you want to get out of being on this water fast? And don't be afraid to share it. People will say what they say. I've had people ask me, how are you surviving? How do you survive just on water alone? And when I say, I've done it before, they look at me like, well, why are you doing it again? And I ask, well, why do you keep eating McDonald's? Why do you keep going back for that dollar slice of pizza? Why do you keep putting things in your body that are actually killing you? Slowly but surely, they're shortening the lifespan of your life. See, we don't look at that aspect of it. We just hear no food, only water, and automatically believe we can't do it. As human beings, we are meant to survive. That's just what we do. Now, we can thrive in that survival, right? And really start living our lives from a whole nother place where survival is not what's the word I'm looking for? It's not something that we have to do, right? Survival is not something that's forced upon us. What if we can turn survival into thriving by really tapping into all that the universe is giving us, by really getting present to how abundant our lives already are, and really tapping into the energy that is being released from person to person. And that means looking at, like we did yesterday, releasing those negative energies. Because there are people around us who are toxic, not just from what they're eating, right? They're toxic from the lifestyles that they live, the things that they say, what's coming out of their mouths. When you start to raise your acoustic energy and you start to really listen to what people are saying, you no longer want to connect with people who are not moving forward in life. You will no longer want to be around people who are not doing something that's uplifting, who are not empowered in their lives, and people who are just out to get by. You get to serve as a shining light for them. So here's what I'm saying. It sucks to be you because you are super special. And really, it doesn't suck to be you. I'm just joking with you, but really it you have now become a leader in your community, and you may not even know that, because people are watching you all the time. People are always watching. They're always looking like, can they do it? Should they do it? I could do this. How come, I could have done that, but people are not doing it. On the last water fast, I went to church on that Sunday. It was one of the Sundays, and the Father Jackson, right, had said, he was reading a passage from the scripture that day, and it happened to be the scripture that it's very common, very familiar. People hear it. But that day, like, I really got it. And he said, many are called, but few are chosen. And I want you to know that many, many people are called to do this. And I shared that with the last group. And I really got from myself that I was chosen. I chose this. See, that's the key in the few are chosen. It's not someone else choosing you. It's you actually choosing this. You choosing this path. You're the one that's doing the choosing. See, the universe just called you. God just called you and said, hey, how you doing? There's this water fast coming up. You want to do it? That's it. The choosing came in when you said, um, yes, I'll do it. And then, of course, everything else that you had around that, like all your other concerns came up. It happens all the time, right? But inside of your choice in that moment, you heard that there was an opportunity for you to really shift something in your life powerfully in a way that made a difference for you so that you can make a difference for your family and those around you. When you're a leader, you just get to lead. And it doesn't always look like what you think it should look like. It just shows up the way it shows up. So really keep thriving, keep growing, keep expanding, keep listening. Because what you're up to today, what you're up to in the world, is something miraculous. And that miracle just happens to be you. So I look forward to all of you, right? Continuing on the path, continuing on the journey. Now, here are some things that I want you to start looking out for, okay? One, you want to start like really checking your water sources if you haven't been doing so already. For those of you who live in New York and who happen to live in Manhattan, I'm getting the address for a place where you can get alkaline water, and I'm going to email that to you by Monday morning so that you have that. You can, get your alkaline water. And the place where I go to, they charge you $10 if you don't have a BPA free bottle, right? So then that includes the bottle and the first fill. And after that, each additional fill is $4. So basically that comes to $1 a quart, or around $1 a liter, and 4 quarts make a gallon, so that's $4. There you go. All right. The other thing is, you may start to notice some physical things happening. I think you're starting to feel a little sleepy. You're getting tired, right? At times of the day where you normally don't get tired, you're going to the bathroom a whole lot more. The taste in your mouth is different. You may start to notice how your mouth feels a little cottony, right? What I call cotton mouth. Even though you're drinking a lot of water, it's not dry. It just feels like you have cotton in it. All of that is normal. That's your body releasing the toxins. That's your body releasing all of the chemicals and everything else that you've been taking in, and now your body's letting it go. You're going to notice your skin is going to change, because first it's going to get bad, right? You're going to have breakouts. Like right now, I'm noticing where I'm having all of these fine little breakouts over on my forehead and around my eyebrows and along my chin line. And I was like, where's that coming from? I didn't have that before. Yeah, because my body's letting go of more stuff. You're also going to notice too that you're not eliminating waste the way you have been before, and that's because your body's not taking anything in to do that. So one thing you want to put in your regimen is doing colonics, right? When you're not doing colonic, you want to do an enema. And what I suggest is you can go to your local pharmacy. Could be like a CVS, Wayne Reed, Walgreens, any one of those. I'm not sponsored by any particular pharmacy, so I really don't care. But you want to pick up the enemas, right? Just ask the pharmacist for it, and they could tell you where it is. And when you get home, the solution that's in there, you want to dump that solution. You don't want to use that at all, right? Because you're not trying to let go of chemicals to put more chemicals in. So you want to get rid of that solution in the bottle, and you want to fill your bottle with room temperature. I personally use room temperature alkaline water, right? And you can find a juice bar to get a 1 ounce shot of wheatgrass, right? Which is also good for your system because you want things in there that are living to kind of stimulate your system. Also, another thing that's also really good is using apple cider vinegar, right? Something else that's alive and can stimulate your system. And really, you want to start detoxing from the inside out. The water's doing it on one end, and you want to use a colonic just about every day, every other day. Not a colonic, an enema. Just about every other day to kind of keep your system going. And then during the water fast, you want to get into having a colonic. So if you haven't had one before, there are two methods, right, that of colonics that are available. One is the gravity method, and the other one is I can't remember what it's called, but that one that I can't remember what it's called is the first colonic I've ever had. So basically, what happens is it's called colonic irrigation. That's what it is. And in colonic irrigation, what happens is warm water is sent up through your rectum into your colon. And when that water goes through your system, it actually activates your large intestines, and it gives your large intestines more liquid than it probably has had. And at that point, what happens is your body starts to release all the mucus buildup that's inside of your intestines. There is how can I put, so much buildup in your body that you don't even know how much you've been holding on to, right? So it makes you hold on to things, and that's where actually a lot of disease and a lot of sickness and illness comes from. So you want to really check out the place that you go to, and you want to find some place that does that has like professional colon hydrotherapists, right? So I'm going to read something from you from one of the places that I'm not going to recommend any particular place, but just so you know, like when you do a Google search, these are some of the things you should look for. So they say, why, this one place answers their own question, like why are their colonics the best colonics in New York? And said because most colonic centers in New York are operated by untrained staff using unregulated homemade devices. These devices can expose people to fecal contamination and highly unpleasant odors in contact with feces. Some colonic centers even utilize the so-called Woods gravity devices or Colen's devices meant for home use. At this particular center, we only utilize the FDA-registered Angel of Water Colon Hydrotherapy system, and all of our therapists are trained and certified by the International Association of Colon Therapists. Now, yes, There are some people who, that's the gravity method I was telling you about earlier, the Woods gravity device. And there is the fluid water, and the angel of water, colon hydrotherapy system. The only system that I have been exposed to, actually, I've been exposed to both. I recommend and prefer any colon hydrotherapist who does the Angel of Water colon hydrotherapy system. And I say that because, not because the other method isn't great, or it's, yes, it has its you do have questions about like cleanliness and all of that. But why I recommend this particular system is because when you're on this water fast, you want to be as calm, you want to be as at ease as possible, and you want to find a place that you can go in and trust and really ask them questions and know that they will answer them, and that you're working with a trained professional. So in a separate post on the Facebook group, and if you haven't gone to the Facebook group, I suggest you go there. In a separate post, I'm going to list a couple of places in New York City, right, that you can take a look at. And if you're not in New York City, you can go ahead and, research these places in New York so that you can look for a place in your city near you and where you live. All right. So make sure you get that scheduled. And because we're on day 3, you may have started to notice that already. So you want to have your colonic done at least by day 7. All right, or at least have one scheduled. And during this water fast, you're going to want to have at least 2 of those, right? And trust me, your body will thank you for it. It definitely will. Another thing that you want to start noticing physically, is be mindful of the amount of energy and exertion that you're putting out. You are not taking in any additional nutrients. So your body is going to have to work on what it already has. It's going into its fat stores to gain energy, to revitalize itself on a daily basis. You want to not overtax your body. You may start to feel like a little muscle fatigue, like your muscles are starting to feel sore, like you've been working out. That too is a part of the process, right? Because everything now is going to work. If you think about your body as a factory, right? In the factory, you have, the person who's the head of the factory, and I would consider that to be your brain. It's sending out all the messages for what there is to do today, and it's talking to all the different departments that would be like your different body parts, right? What needs to happen? Heart, you need to do this. Lungs, you need to do this. Kidneys, you're now on this duty. Liver, you're on this duty. So all your body parts are getting these messages from the brain. Okay, like this is what's happening and this is what we need to do. And now within each department, there are those who make the department run. You have your department managers, right, which are your body parts. And now um, inside of those teams are all the other things that come together. So like your cells and, your veins and everything are all coming together to actually deliver the messages and to do the work. So your cells on a nuclear level are the worker bees, right? And the veins in your body are carry the messages from the brain to everywhere else. So everyone is now kind of like getting on the same page to make sure that your body is operating at an optimal level for what you already have. Okay, and as I've mentioned before, yes, it is a natural byproduct that you are going to lose weight. This is not a weight loss plan. This is not meant for you to go on a diet or, to get that hot summer sexy body. This is not about that. So I would recommend for anyone who's hearing this and anyone who's on this, if that's what you think this is, inbox me. And what I will do is make sure that I remove you from the list. We'll have a separate call and I'll remove you from the list and we could find some other methods for you to take care of that. But this isn't that. And I don't want people to get the idea or the belief that that's what this is. Because what we're doing now is really resetting our bodies, resetting our system in such a way that when we reset our system and we start to add in living foods, right? Foods, organic foods, foods from the earth, our body will react and respond and actually thank us on a daily basis. Okay? So another thing you want to do is you want to bless and energize your water. So this came in very, very handy for me during the first water fast I did. And blessing your water can simply be the thing that you say. You love on your water and you hug on your water and you say, look, thank you so much for providing me with the sustenance and life-giving sustenance that you provide me with every minute of every moment of every day. And let's keep working together, right? Tell your water that you love it because your water is actually loving you. And because we're heading into, we're already in daylight savings times, so we're heading into the darker portion of the year. You want to try and get as much sun in you as you possibly can because sun helps you actually create vitamin D. So get out during the day, take your water where you can, and actually if you can place it on the ground in the sun to get the energy of the earth and the energy from the sun in your bottle. Remember, you want to use the BPA-free plastic bottles if you're using that. If you're not using that and you have access to getting glass bottles, right, quart size, you can do that. There is a company that produces milk called Roni Burke, right? They produce, they're based here in upstate New York, and they are a milk farm. But why I like them, I don't drink milk. I haven't drank milk in quite some time. But I like them because they deliver their milk to supermarkets in glass bottles. And the glass bottle is refundable, like you can return it to get your deposit back. I think the quart is like $3.99. Yes, it's a hefty price, but it's worth the investment to have a quart-sized glass bottle so that when you get your alkaline water, you don't have to walk around with a gallon jug. I was doing that the last time. It's pretty intense, right? So walking around with this 1 quart glass bottle is even better because I can fill it. Has its a plastic lid that I can put back on, right? And boom, I have what I could take with me. So I advise you, my advice to you is like really find like a glass bottle or BPA free bottle, and you want to keep your water at room temperature because your body is operating at 98.6 degrees on average, and then to put in 40-degree water is like a major shock, right? It's like throwing you in a tub of ice water, basically from the inside out. So you want to keep your water room temperature, find a place outside. And I know in the city it's like hard to do that, right? Find a place outside in nature, but try to find one or get near a window and hold your bottle in your hand in the sun, right? And stand in the sun with your water and you give your water energy that way. But find a way to like really tap into the earth and give your water energy. If you don't have plants in your home, get some plants. Got to keep live things around you. And so this hasn't happened to me yet, but this was my experience in the last water fast. I experienced different smells And at first I thought it was just me. I thought it was nuts, right? Until I mentioned it to the group. Um, and other people started sharing that, yeah, they were smelling things too. And what we discovered is that everything in your body is starting to open up. Your taste buds are getting cleansed. So your nasal passages are getting cleansed. Your ear passages and your ear, nose, and throat are all connected. So when one opens up, they all open up. And you're going to start smelling things. Ooh, you're going to start smelling things that you haven't smelled before. It ain't pretty, right? But I'll tell you this, start to, it will go away. Just bear with it. There's only 18 more days to go, so it'll work out. But notice it that friends and family and people you've been around, you're gonna smell them in a totally different way. Um, your perfume will smell differently. Men's cologne will smell differently. Um, you know, your body odor will be different because your body is just releasing toxins. You just don't know it. And ladies, for those of you on your cycle is going to change. For some of you, that may be for the good. For some of you, that may be for the bad. I don't know. But your cycle is going to change. What I noticed for me is that my cycle, when I'm water fasting, gets shorter. It's a way lot shorter, which tells me my body's not dealing with a whole lot of crap. Right? It still is very heavy, right? But it's just shorter. And my body does what it does, takes care of me, and I take care of it. Okay? All right. So that is the health segment for the day that I have for you. And like I've always said, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV and the internet either. Right? These are just my tips and suggestions. And if you are dealing with any medical conditions, you're on any kinds of medication, you're under any form of doctor's advice, as it is with any and all things that you're doing, seek your professional medical advice and you choose what you do. Doctors are not the know-all end-all, and they know what they know. They may not know what those drugs are doing in your body, right? But they know what they know. And it's really up to you, and you have the choice to choose to stick with what they say or not, right? It's really up to you to choose if this pathway of detox is going to be a pathway of life for you. If it's actually going to make a difference for you and really stand for that, right? Or if the method that your doctor has chosen for you, that you've worked on together, if that's going to be the pathway that you're choosing, and stand for that. Either way, there's nothing wrong. It's just you have to be the one to choose. Don't let it be the thing that's chosen for you, right? It's time we take our power back and we start to actually own our lives. And this is a part of owning your life. So until tomorrow, journal, drink your water, love yourself as you would love your neighbor, and love your neighbor as you would love yourself. Listen to what the universe is saying all around you. God may have been answering your prayer a long time ago. You just haven't heard it because you've been eating. Okay. And really continue on this journey and have a blessed day. And until tomorrow, I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.